Taking a look at our qualifying session here. Let's go ahead and tune you guys in. We had a little bit of a hiccup there in our connections, but we're back live. Patrick Hernandez in first. Michael Prince in second. Ash Rogers in third. Rounding out our top three, Rogers, Pylon, Brown, Sampson, Smith, Carl, Canova, McDonald in our top 10 there. Let's jump into the field as they are heading to green. Sorry about that late start there for us. Quick look at what we are doing. This is round 12 of 12 in the S.M.A.S.H Cup Championship race as our drivers are looking to finish the season strong. This is the final race in championship weekend after 4 long races here for this group of drivers. smashleague.gg if you want to join them and get in on season 2, which is right around the corner. These drivers are set to take off and are ready to go. Pace car is heading out. We're waiting for one more driver to hit the grid. Let's take a look at our current season standings while we are following the pace car, shall we? Out in front is Austin Gum, Daryl Griffin, Jesse Sampson, Chris Tremmel, and Darren Vell. I'm in the boot, so I will not be a part of those point chase here tonight. In the last week of the season, this is week 12 of 12. Last chance to shine as we look towards season 2 in a few weeks from now. One more look at our top 10 on the inside line is Patrick Hernandez, Pylon, Bobby Brown, and Brian Smith. Canova rounding out the inside. On the outside, we have Prince, Rogers, Sampson, Carl, and McDonald on the outside. Let's see what these drivers will do as we look to see if they have the patience that it's going to take to get them around this track here in Darlington. Looking for a strong season finish as the other races have gone quite well. Our race leaders take off shooting, and Patrick is swirling around there. Waiting to go green for the first time here tonight. And action, we are live. 91 looks to shoot. That's Hernandez. Prince on the outside pushing him. That's Michael Prince in the 91. Ash Rogers out there in the 69 car out in third right now. Ronnie Pylon right behind him in the 55 all-white car, looking to chase them down as he's rounding out the top 5 for the moment. As we look back towards the middle of the field, Nicholas Sizek out in 14 car, looking to make moves as he's currently out in 10th. We got the 4 of Daryl Griffin rocking a new paint scheme here tonight in the white and blue out in the 4 car. Looking to make his moves as we know that's the tire-saving ability that he has. He can make late moves, try to pass this pack as they burn through their tires. He's a patient driver. Patrick Hernandez in the 91, currently in 6th place on the season, looking to finish strong with a finish here tonight as he's closing out the season. Started in 1st place pole, out in 2nd right now as Michael Prince got a little bit of a squeeze on him in the front part of the race. We'll see if he can continue to put the pressure on him and how it develops as we have 110 laps of pressure to go. We're pushing around the track here. Hernandez in 2nd, 42 of Michael Prince out in front. Again, guys, I'm sorry, apologizing about that log we had there in the front. For some reason, our connection stopped right as we were getting ready to go live and do that intro. So we are just kind of settling into the action here as we had a shaky start over in the broadcast booth. Jesse Sampson in the 10 car. Him and Daryl are battling for that finish here on the season. We'll see which one of them end up on top. Right now, in the moment, it is Jesse out in front in the 10 car, sitting in the 7 position. Jesse started out in 6th, currently sitting in 7th, following 1 position as the 26 looks to push him on the inside. Oh, we have the red car getting shaky behind them both, sending him back a few. We'll see if that throws the caution. It doesn't look like it's going to for the moment as these two continue to push. Nicholas having a little bit of a shake there in the 14 car. I believe that was him. Johnny Bobby Brown in the 88 in the orange and black, pushing his way around the track, out in 10th right now. Always one to watch. Fun listening to him talk. He's quite the animated one when he gets on the microphone. We'll see where he makes his way in this cup race, trying to close out the S.M.A.S.H Season 1 nice and strong here. That's what all these drivers would like to do. Ash Rogers in the 69 out in 3rd right now, trying to chase down Patrick Hernandez in front of him. See how that battle is looking at the moment. Ash is currently losing pace to Patrick as he's battling off Ronnie Pilon right behind him. Jesse Sampson heading to the pits with a meatball. That's going to hurt his championship aspirations, as that's going to give Daryl a moment to move in front of him. Pushing around the track. Let's see if we can check in and happened to Jesse as his championship battle is going to send him. Looks like we're catching the back half here. Looks like he might have been entering the pits. Oh, his car's already damaged at this point. So it's something that happened much before this. Yeah, the whole front end there of Jesse in the 10 is damaged. That's going to send him into the pits, which is a good thing there for Daryl in the 4 as he looks to lock in this championship for the S.M.A.S.H Season 1 in the Cup Series. Him and Jesse out there battling their way. Whoever comes out on top here is basically going to take that championship home. So this is going to be an interesting battle. Jesse's going to have to go to the pits. He's going to need to do some repairs. We'll see how much time that's going to cost him. This continues to go green. That's going to hurt him. We can get a caution out here. That might give him a chance, but as of now, Jesse is going to be falling back in laps as he's in the pits. Patrick Hernandez still out in 2nd, trying to chase down Michael Prince in front of him. Michael Prince trying to show no signs of slowing down for the moment in that 42 car, pushing his way around here. We'll see if Prince has what it takes to maintain tire control. There's a lot of laps left with 90 to go. close out the season 1. Dylan Canova charging his way through the pack. Starting in 9th, making his way, currently sitting in 3rd position right now. We will see what he can do. Let's take a look at his adventure so far tonight. Slowly making his way up the pack. That's what you expect to see from Dylan Canova, as he is one of the faster guys here in the S.M.A.S.H League. Absolutely throwing it down with the East Coast Truck Series, finishing off in 2nd place on the season after coming in late. Still a strong finish. Anytime this guy's in the car, you expect him to do some damage. Johnny Bobby Brown currently in the pits, along with Jesse Sampson out there in the pits as well. We will see how long they're going to be in there, killing off those repairs, see if they can get back onto the track, try to finish off some laps so they can end the season strong. Steve Harris heading back out onto the track in the 1, rocking the red tonight, a little bit of a switch up from his usual yellow. If that gives him a little bit of a boost. Brian Smith making his way around the track in that 26 car, starting in 7th, still sitting in 7th, staying consistent so far here in the first 20 laps. 57 of O'Connor pushing right behind him, trying to put pressure on him. We'll see if there's going to be a position change here between the 57 and the 26, or if the 26 is going to keep defending. Steve Harris still in the pit. Looks like he's about to start crawling his way on out in that 1 car. Currently sitting in 10th place. We'll see how much time that repairs have cost him. Your current race leader, Michael Prince, out there in front. Started in 2nd, commanding the race pretty early on, getting in front of Hernandez there at the start of the race. Has not given that position back, but Patrick is not going to give up. We know him. He's going to keep chasing him down, see what he can do. Just a matter of who's going to be able to manage the tires and who's going to be able to push late in the race. Michael Prince showing why he is in first out there, building his lead. It's almost 1 second gap there to Patrick Hernandez, still trying to chase him down with Dylan Canova right on his back. Dylan Canova is going to try to give these guys a run for their money, so Patrick has got to be on his A game if he's going to want to be able to get around here and keep Canova behind him. Canova currently averaging better lap times than Patrick Hernandez. If he doesn't tighten it up, Canova's going to make a move, and there it is. On the outside, Canova's pushing his way through. Giving the way is Patrick Hernandez, now switching positions there with Canova. Canova finding himself in 2nd position, chasing down Michael Prince now, our current race leader. Does he have enough laps left to close that gap? At the moment, he's currently averaging faster laps, so we'll see if he can hold it together with those tires. Currently remaining green. We'll see if this race stays green the whole way. If it does, it's going to be in the advantage of Canova as he's chasing down Prince, closing that gap. Currently down to 1 second for Canova. Guy is pushing that car. Patrick trying to stay on Canova, but I don't think he's going to have what it takes at the moment until he's able to get back in the pits and maybe get a refresh on those tires to try to stay with him and push him. Dylan Canova on top of his car here as he's breathing down the back of Michael Prince, trying to close the gap, currently at 0.75, getting a little closer each lap. Still averaging quite faster times here than Michael Prince. He's going to close down that gap here in the next 5-7 laps. If he continues at this pace and there's no major errors, we should see a possible change in our leader here in the next 10 laps. And I'm here for it as we are on board with Canova, chasing down Michael Prince in the 42. Starting out in 9th place, being patient, working his way through the pack. This track will reward that patience, and Canova is being rewarded with that now as he's fighting his way into 2nd place. Slowly closing the gap down, which is now at 0.7 seconds of Michael Prince right in front of him. Canova really pushing this car to the limits here. Knows exactly what he's got to give it to get around this track. Breathing down the back of Prince. Still about a 0.7 second gap between the two. We'll see if Dylan is able to catch him or if he's going to exhaust his tires as we head into lap 32 of 110. What a race so far here for Canova. He's looking to end his season strong after a 2nd place finish in the East Coast Truck Series over there on Friday night in the S.M.A.S.H League. Dylan Canova chasing down Michael Prince. How many more laps until he is on him? Patrick Hernandez right behind them, trying to stay in the game here. 1, 2, 3, chasing down. That's 42, 70, and 91 of Prince, Canova, and Hernandez looking to stay together. Taking a look at repairs, Steve McDonald found himself with some early repairs over 6 minutes as he headed into the pit there. Currently finding himself in the 11th position. Hopefully those repairs will benefit him as the race continues. Not carrying around that damage. You don't want to be moving around here with too much damage. Hitting that wall will build up real quick. Let's take another look at Dylan Canova's journey as he started out in 8th position, or 9th position, I should say, and currently finding himself out in 2nd. Got into 2nd around lap 25, has not given it up yet, trying to breathe down the back of Michael Prince out there in 1st still for the moment. Canova closing the gap. It's currently at 0.5 seconds. Let's check in on the middle of the field as Brian Smith, currently in 7th position in that 26 car, is trucking his way around trying to catch up to Cody O'Connor, currently about 5 seconds in front of him. Out in 8th place is Daryl Griffin in the 4 car. Like I said, this guy knows how to take control of those tires, keep them managed, and move around the track. And he will be pushing positions when he can, when it matters, towards the end, when tires are all eaten up. That guy always has some tread, always gains some positions towards the end. I always see him making those moves, so we'll check back in with him soon. Quite a few cars out in pit lane for the moment. Daryl Griffin still pushing his way around. Brian Smith of the 26 finds his way into the wall there for just a moment. Patrick Hernandez slowly losing momentum. That gap in front of him is getting bigger and bigger. It's going to affect him as he tries to stay with the top there, but it's going to help him as he pushes into the top 5 of our leaderboard for the end of the season. He's just outside, sitting in 6th. The field would have loved to have you, Lee. Always an honor to have Lee, our last race winner. If you were there, checked our interviews, that stream went way smoother. We didn't have any pre-stream drops for no reason. It was a brilliant stream. Go back and check it out. That one will be there after. This one likely will not. Steve McDonald finding his way out of the pits with all that damage that he had early on, looking to get some laps out of the pack here, entering back onto the track. Oh, Canova squeezes by him on the high side there. That almost caused a little bit of a stir there for our number 2 driver there. Canova pushing his way back behind Michael Prince with about a second gap currently in the moment. Patrick Hernandez falling to about 2.7. The leaderboards are close between Austin and Daryl. When we look towards the finish here, we'll have to let the officials add that up to know where the championship's going to lie. But right now, we're keeping our eye on Daryl and Jesse to see which one of them finish on top. Jesse had a lot of damage. Let's see if we can get an update on the time on that. I think he just took himself out of the race when he took that damage, because I have no update indication on his time there, and he's looking like he is out in the pits. Jesse might be out of this race with the damage that he took, which is only going to benefit Daryl Griffin in that 4 car as he looks to capitalize on the series finale here tonight. Cody O'Connor in the 57 in 6th place, trying to make his way through the pack. It's been a quiet race for him, but starting out in 12th, sitting in 6th right now. That's a good amount of movement. It's a great amount of push so far in this race out of him. 43 laps in. We'll see what he does as we make our way into the second half of the race. I think this guy has a couple positions left, possibly. If we remain green, we'll see. If the pack causes a yellow, gets together, maybe things will get interesting. Ronnie Pylon out in the Harbor Freight, 55, sitting in 5, throwing out the 555s for us today. Let's see what he has done so far as we take a look at his timeline. Started out in a 4th, dipping out into 5th. Kind of just sitting around the same area all day so far for Ronnie Pylon. Not too much movement for him. Staying consistent. That's what you can ask for here at this track. So good moves for him as he's pushing around, trying to see if he'll get any more positions or if he is just going to ride out into sunset in 5th place. Daryl Griffin out on the track in 8th position, making his way around, trying to see if he can get Brian Smith, who's out in the 26 car, making his way around the track. He's out on an island for the moment. We'll see if that's going to affect him while everyone else is kind of still hunkered in together. Ash Rogers also out here by himself for the moment, trying to chase down Patrick, who's unfortunately about 5 seconds in front of him. So that time frame is quite a bit to make up. It's going to all come down to what happens here in the pit strategies. We'll see if these guys can get into the pits clean. If we throw a caution here, that might shake it up and make things interesting. But I believe these guys will have clean pit stops when we go into them here in a couple laps. Taking a look back at pit, we still have a couple cars in there as the rest of the field's charging down. Dylan Canova still out in second place, trying to chase down Michael Prince. He's been at this for a while now, looking to close the gap. He's getting closer and closer. Currently a 0.5 second gap. He's going to try to get in there and see what he can do. Chat thinks we're going to have Canova in the pits around 53. We'll see if that's what's going to happen as we are heading to lap 50. He's still chasing it down Prince. The gap is closing, that is for sure. Canova is pushing him to the best of his ability. Just how much tire does Canova have? And how much gas does Canova have? Michael Prince out in front, your current race leader, having no trouble here so far today as Canova looks to put pressure on him from behind. Canova right on the back of the 42 there. Not giving away. Keeping the pressure on him, letting him know that he's there as we start to see a couple of drivers entering pit lane. They're going to go get some fuel there. That's Ronnie Pilon and Cody O'Connor entering the pits there. You guys have anyone you want me to check in on that we haven't checked in on in a little bit, you let me know in the chat. We'll give a little bit of highlight on them, see what's going on, what's happening with their race, take a look at their driver timeline, and if anything exciting is going on for them. But right now, all of the action, all of the excitement is right here as Canova is chasing down our current race leader, looking to make a move here in the next couple of laps. Will he get it before they enter the pits? Will they enter the pit at the same time? Will their pit times be different? That's where all strategy is going to swipe up here. Canova entering the pits. That was a little bit of a shaky move there. Was that a late pit entry for Michael Prince? Did he enter the pits too? Michael Prince entered the pits as well. I'm not quite sure on when he committed into the pit lane there, but it looks like he may have came down a little bit later there than Canova as they entered the pit lane. There might be something there for race control to take a look at. We'll see who gets out of the pit here first. Ash Rogers takes command of the lead here for the moment. I think Prince might possibly get hit there with a time penalty if he did violate the commit at 3 rule. Not 100% sure there. We'd have to go in and check that out, but it definitely looked a little bit suspect for him. Canova came in quite a bit earlier, and then you just seen him dropping down on top of him. And he is out of the pits early as well. Looking to try to get in front of Canova. About a 1.5 second gap over Canova now. Nova trying to close the gap and get back in motion here. Our current number 3, Michael Prince, trying to fight off Dylan Canova. He may also be dealing with the time penalty, so he's going to need to push his way around this track, try to see if he can build up some time. Looking to get around Rogers. There is the 42 as he finds his way around. Michael Prince currently sitting in second place. Canova following right behind him. No problem at all. Pushing his way around. Dylan Canova landing his fastest lap of the night as we head into lap 58. Nothing but speed from Canova tonight. Oh, 70, I think, might have just had a little bit of contact there with the wall as he came in a little too hot. Hopefully the front end of his did not get too much damage. We'll have to see if we can get a look in there. Doesn't look too bad. Canova trying to close the gap as it's getting tight here. Right on the 6 of Michael Prince's Canova as they're battling around the corner. Canova looking to squeeze him on the inside there, pushing his way down the stretch. Falling back in line for the moment. Michael Prince currently sitting on that position. What a battle between these two we've had so far. Indeed, both got a little bit of wall action there as they're trying to push this car to the limits. Battling their way around. 42 is trying to hold off Canova as they're chasing down Rogers. Rogers in the pit. Canova and Prince will find their way around. What a battle between these two. What a battle. Canova trying to push his way. Assert his authority on the 60 or the 42 there of Prince. Drivers continuing to log fast laps as they were getting settled in and comfortable with this car. 60 laps into this 110 lap session. We are over halfway there. Almost at the end of the season 1 of the S.M.A.S.H League. Closing it out with the Cup Series here. Rob in the 40 car getting a meatball. He's going to send him into the pits for repairs. Oh, I just heard an engine go. Someone else is going to be finding their way into the pits as well. I'm not sure if that was the same driver or not. Patrick still finding his way behind Dylan and Michael Prince. About a 10-second gap now between them. Ash Rogers is battling his way with Cody O'Connor right behind him. Duking it out for top 5 positions here tonight. Still in contention there. They are right on each other's tail. Less than a 2-second gap. Let's check back in with Canova as he's pushing his way still behind Michael Prince. Battling it off between him and Canova so far. Prince has had a successful night. They're regained 1 and 2. Canova trying to push him on the outside. Prince says, not today, holding the line. These two are really putting on display some great driving for us here. Trying to close out the season on a high note in the S.M.A.S.H Season 1. If you want to be a part of Season 2, you know it's over at smashleague.gg. They'll be more than happy to get you involved. And this group of guys really knows how to battle as Canova takes him on the inside. looking to gain the lead for the first time tonight, showing 42. He is here to stay. Prince defending, holding the line, not giving into Canova's pressure. Canova getting a little shaky there. Canova and Prince both smacking the wall there. Right in the lines and the limits of these cars. Canova trying to push him on the outside. Canova on the outside with momentum, trying to hold the line. Will he get the line he needs without smacking the wall? Their guys are giving it all they've got. 42, 70, battling. Oh, and 42 goes! 70 is going to keep moving. No caution here yet. Oh, 42 still on the track. Gonna get recontrol of the car. We are still green. Canova is flying away. Out in first for the first time tonight is Dylan Canova as those two come into a collision there. Take a look back at that if we can see what happened. Like Canova's trying to squeeze on the outside there. Oh, and there it was. Just enough. Prince and Canova find themselves in a little bit of a scruffle, and then Prince takes a little bit more damage along the way. That's going to send him into the pits, causing a little bit of an end to what has been otherwise an excellent night for him. Watching him and Canova go at it, that was quite the battle. Unfortunately, he just lost it a little bit, getting himself into Dylan Canova and just completely losing control here still. Looks like he was trying to get a caution there almost, huh? As he continues to lose it there with no pressure from anyone. We will head back to the field as we check in on our leader, Dylan Canova, pushing away. 11-second lead over Hernandez. No one in sight of him now. His race to lose. He did scorch his tires there, that's for sure. That was quite the battle between those two. I was enjoying that one. Sucks to see him fall off there as Prince in the 42 was having a hell of a race, but that's a little bit of what happens when you're racing, and we hope to see him back battling at the top here in the next season. Kept us entertained for a solid amount of laps. We'll see where the next battle is at. Ronnie Pilon in the 55, finding himself there with a meatball flag. That's going to send him back into the pits here with 73 laps complete in this 110-lap push to close out the season in Darlington Cup Series for the S.M.A.S.H League as we round out what has been 4 amazing races so far here this weekend. Ash Rogers currently finding himself in 3rd place in the 69 car, making his way around the track. Right behind him, Cody O'Connor kissing the wall a little bit there as he's pushing around the turn. Finding himself in 4th place in that 57 car, looking for a little bit of redemption after having quite a bit of repairs in the last race early on. Daryl Griffin in the 4 car. What did I tell you? Out here in 6th place currently, as this guy likes to save his tires and move around this track. He is very, very calm. He knows when to push it, and he can save these tires pretty damn well. Steve McDonald currently finding himself in 10th place, rounding out our top 10, down 16 laps from our leaders, trying to get a little bit of lap action here tonight, still in the Cup Series. Each lap builds character for these drivers. No matter how far behind you are, it's all about enjoying driving to who you're on the track with, and that's what the S.M.A.S.H League is building. It's not about just coming out here on a race night and throwing down these races. It's about building friendships, competing with some really good drivers, and seeing who comes out on top at the end. If you want to be a part of the S.M.A.S.H League, you can get in on that action over at the smashleague.gg. Season 2 right around the corner as we close out Season 2, or sorry, as we close out Season 1 here. We are heading into lap 77, 110 laps when that bell strikes. That is the end of Season 1, and we turn focus to Season 2, which is set to be hell of a thing over at the S.M.A.S.H League. Brian Smith out in 5th place in that 26 car, trying to find his way towards Cody O'Connor out in 4th. Let's see if he can get the gap closed with the remaining laps, or is time not on his side? We are running low. Into the pits for the 26 of Brian Smith as he looks to get a refresher. Dylan Canova still out in front. 13 seconds behind him is Patrick, as Canova's passing the lap traffic there of O'Connor. Patrick Hernandez pushing his way around the track there in the 91 Toyota. Patrick Hernandez looking to finish this season strong. This guy, anytime he's on the track, you can expect him to be in the top half of the field. He knows how to drive these cars, he knows how to control them, and he knows how to put down some speed. Always a pleasure watching this guy along with the rest of these people over in the S.M.A.S.H League. They'll have quite a few cars out in the pits. It looks like they are going to hang it up for the season here tonight. Unfortunate for them as we take focus back onto the track for the drivers that remain. Ash Rogers out in 3rd place, trying to see if he can get another position, trying to get a little bit closer there to Hernandez, who's about... that's a 10-second gap between him and Hernandez. I don't know that he's going to be able to close that with enough laps remaining unless something significant happens to Hernandez and he's able to get up closer. I don't know. Canova's a race to lose as our pole starter, 91, finding himself in 2nd. Trying to chase down Canova, looking like a 14-second gap. No one stopping Canova there. Hernandez getting on the wall. Important to note that our series leader, Austin Gum, absent from the race tonight, thus likely forfeiting his championship finish here in the series. He had a hell of a season. I wanted to spotlight him even though he's not here. He deserves every single moment of it, and that guy knows how to rip this car around the track as well. I look forward to seeing what he does over in Season 2. Nova had a little bit of a wall smack there. See if that affected his front end. Take another look here at Canova's journey. Started out in 9th position finding his way in second place by lap 22nd. He went into pit about lap 50, took all 4 fresh tires, finding himself in first place for the first time by lap 66, and has not looked back since he has taken over command of that lead position. Hernandez trying to chase him down. Rogers right behind him as well. Running out of time. 27 to go in the first season of the S.M.A.S.H Cup Series. Nova out in front. No one anywhere around him. Steve Harris and Brian Smith finding himself in a battle for 6 and 7. Steve Harris on the inside line trying to get position, having to fall back right behind Brian Smith. This track is very tricky. You have to be patient and choose where you pass very, very, very conservatively, or else you will find yourself in that wall, and you do not want to find yourself in that wall late in the race, especially when you're in the top half of the standings. So you want to take as many points as you can get and get the hell out of here. Darrell Griffin finding another position, currently sitting in 5th, making his way up that leaderboard, trying to take the championship home. Will he be able to get enough points here to surpass Austin? That'll be the question when the season series ends here tonight in 25 laps. Brian Smith, for the moment, taking that position over Steve Harris as Harris drops 2 seconds back. 24 laps to go to see if he will have another shot at battling him there for that 6th seed. That looks to be our closest battle right there in the moment. Patrick Hernandez and Ash Rogers looking for a shakeup there. Looks like Hernandez might be coming into the pit lane. Ash Rogers takes over 2nd place. Dylan Canova still out in 1st. It looks like no one is going to stop him. He's commanding 25 seconds here tonight. Out in front. No one there. Be curious to see what would happen if our series leader Austin was out here on the track pushing around with these boys. He might be giving them a little bit of a run. Darrell Griffin, someone to watch out there in the standings in the championship chase, currently sitting in 5th position. Will he have enough to pass Hernandez? Hernandez currently in the pit. I don't know if he has repairs or if he's just grabbing some tires. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Update on our repair leaderboard. Steve McDonald leading the way with 6 minutes and 18 seconds of repairs. Brian Smith right behind him with 2. Ronnie Pylan with 30 seconds. And Darrell Griffin had a few seconds as well. Darrell Griffin leading the way for the positions there on the repair board, but also had the least amount of those repairs with 2 minutes of repairs. Brian Smith is finding himself in the battle for 6th position, which is not too shabby when you have to go in there and take care of those repairs. You're still able to get back out there and battle. You can't ask for much more than that. Definitely don't want those fire department to take a day off. We need them out here on the track. Your current 3rd place race runner, Cody O'Connor, out here pushing around the track in the 57, looking for redemption off of that O'Reilly race. Started out in 12th, currently sitting in the 3. Let's take a look in at his timeline, shall we? 13th place start. Climbing his way up about lap 12. He had already gained a few positions. Kind of sat there in the middle of the pack until finally breaking away around lap 72. Pushing his way into the top 3. Cody O'Connor has been having quite a race for himself tonight. Been a little quiet, but quiet is good. When you're out here on Darlington, you don't want to make much noise. don't know that Daryl Griffin will let us interview him, but if he would love to have a word after the race, we would love to get a quote from him on his push to the championship as he moves up another position. Daryl Griffin climbing his way up. Look at this race timeline from Daryl Griffin here, starting out in 15th position, dragging his way up the track, currently sitting in 4th, trying to chase down that series gold to hoist it above his head as he shoves Austin out of 1st place. Says, sayonara, should have been here, sucker. Great race from Daryl Griffin as he has consistently maintained the control of those tires. And it's really paid off for him here as he pushes into 4th. Trying to battle up into more positions. Patrick Hernandez falling behind quite a bit of the way there. Not sure what happened to him. It looks like he is exited from the scene here as he likely... Let's take a look at the repairs. Nope, not on the repair board. I'm not quite sure what happened to Patrick there. We'll have to see if we can get an update on that a little bit later as we check in on the action. Dylan Canova. No one anywhere near him. Ash Rogers, the closest one here in the 69 car. Dylan Canova, 27-second gap. No one anywhere near him. Say the least, as he pushes around the track by himself. Oh, Canova touches the wall. Hernandez finding himself out. It looks like he might have had a technical issue that's going to send him, unfortunately, out into the pit lane, ending his season here, which was a hell of a season for him in the S.M.A.S.H League. This guy came out and battled with us and had a great time. He's one of the guys that we like to talk to. He's always in a good mood, and he loves to race. That's what we want. Dylan Canova looking to close out his Season 1 here with a victory at Darlington in the Cups. He said he was going to come in here and cause a ruckus, and he is doing just that as he's looking to gain 1st place here. $11 to go. We are winding down S.M.A.S.H Season 1. Ash Rogers, Cody O'Connor, Canova gonna find themselves on the podium unless something drastic happens with 10 to go. These guys have consistently found themselves in charge of that car. Daryl Griffin right behind them, showing that he can maintain tire control, which is gonna pay off in a track like Darlington. What really requires you to save those tires. You cannot just push around here with full force, or you will find yourself in quite a bit of trouble. One last look in on Daryl Griffin, who's had himself quite a race tonight, rocking the white and blue. A little bit of a switch up from him, and that switch up has found him in a top 5 position as he's looking for a close-out finish here, potentially positioning himself in what might be 1st place in the 1st season of the S.M.A.S.H Cup Series. Eight laps remain. Canova leading the way. Daryl Griffin looking to take a hold of that championship. Harris right behind him in the 1 car, pushing out also on a new color scheme tonight, usually rocking the yellow. Steve Harris in the 1, rocking the red, having a good quiet race himself out there in 5th, as he is rounding out our top 5 for the moment, and it's looking like it's going to stay this way unless something significant were to happen here in the last 7 laps, and I don't think we're going to see that because these drivers have been able to maintain it this whole time. I don't see anything happening now. Brian Smith currently out here in 6th, starting in 7th, 1 position of a gain for him in this race. Still finding himself in the top half of the field. It's been a good night for him. Also stayed pretty quiet, which again, quiet is good on a track like Darlington. Canova chugging around for what will be the final 5 laps in the Season 1 of the S.M.A.S.H series. All 4 series will come to a conclusion with the ringing of this race here, and it has been a hell of a season for the guys over at S.M.A.S.H. Season 1, this league has grown exponentially, and they have learned a lot along the way, and if you want to be a part of the journey that is Season 2, make sure you head on over to smashleague.gg. That is where you're going to want to be if you want to get on the oval action. Another all-green race here for the S.M.A.S.H League at Darlington. That is 3 back-to-back-to-back races here, all in the truck, the O'Reilly and Cup Series. These guys really know how to control these cars and what is a tough track to maintain. Absolutely unbelievable that all 3 of the main series out of this league went full green this entire weekend. And if you want to be a part of that action, like I said, you really got to get in there for Season 2, which is going to be in a couple weeks. They're going to take a few weeks off, and then they'll be right back in the action. And Season 2 is going to be a even tighter and even stronger field. And the 2 Cup Series will be, or the East Coast and the Truck Series will be broadcasted over there by the Sensational crew. And those guys are awesome on the mic. Make sure you tune in and check them out anytime they are live. I'll be handling a little bit of the O'Reilly, a little bit of the Challenger series, so you'll be seeing me as well over in Season 2, but make sure you check out all of the races that the S.M.A.S.H League has to offer, because these guys are really building something special. And we have 2 laps left in what has been a great season here for the boys at S.M.A.S.H. Canova leading the charge in the 70. Ash Rogers right behind him. White flag is out, waving for one last time this season. We are charging around here at Darlington. 1 final lap. Canova out in front. Rogers right behind him there. And when I say right behind, it's a 50-second gap. Cody O'Connor in 3rd place, closing out what will be our top 3 with Daryl Griffin, Steve Harris, Brian Smith, Steve McDonald, Patrick Hernandez, Ronnie Pylon, and Michael Prince rounding out our top 10. We had that battle there from Ronnie Prince early on with Canova, but unfortunately his car took a spin and he was not able to get back into the action. But up until that moment, him and Canova were really laying it down and putting on a show for us out here. Great race from everyone as we take a look at our top 3 one last time. Once again, that is Dylan Canova out in front. In 2nd place is Ash Rogers. And 3rd place, we got Cody O'Connor. One last look in at our official standings here in the results for the league tonight. We had Dylan Canova, Ash Rogers, Cody O'Connor absolutely ripping it as you hear Dylan Canova spinning them out there for us on the Ford. Our hard charger, Daryl Griffin, who's also going to be likely raising the season championship here in the Cup Series for our S.M.A.S.H Season 1. Congratulations over to him. Most laps led, Michael Prince. Again, he had a great battle there with Canova, but unfortunately his car ended up taking some damage and he was not able to get back into it. Patrick Hernandez with the pole position there, finding himself in a little bit of trouble, having to take his way out of the race. What a season, what a battle it has been for our boys over there in S.M.A.S.H, and I can't wait to see what they bring us in Season 2. Again, if you guys want to be a part of that action, you got to head on over to smashleague.gg, and those boys will be more than happy to have you. Let's see if our race leader is going to head in here to the Discord channel. We can give them a quick little bit of an interview and see who they would like to shout out. Once again, let's look at your race leaders for the last time here tonight. Canova, Rogers, and O'Connor pushing their way around, having a great race. I'll give them a couple minutes here to see if they want to get a post-race interview to close out the season. Congratulations to the 4-car of Daryl Griffin, who I believe is going to take home the Season 1 championship. The silent winner of the race, even though he didn't find himself in the top 3, he's going to go ahead and take home that season championship, which is going to hold a little bit more weight and just shows what consistency can do. If you show up and you keep pushing, you can end up taking home that season top win. What a race it was. Let's take a listen in here as our top 3 are shuffling their way into the broadcast booth. I'm going to go ahead and tune in with them. Hey, boys, you had a copy?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I got.
Yes, sir.
That was a great way for us to round out what was Season 1 here at the S.M.A.S.H League. Cody, I'm going to start with you. After what was a little bit of a rough race earlier for you in the O'Reilly series, how did that one feel for you?
Well, it's my first time doing one of these interviews, so that's kind of cool. The O'Reilly's race was definitely rough. I have later towards the end of the season here, I've started to learn how to conserve tires a little bit better. And I've noticed that towards the end of, 30, 40, 50 laps in, I'm starting to catch the leaders. So in the O'Reilly race, I was just pushing too hard and got into the wall a couple times and had a bunch of damage. So that was rough, but just got lucky with this one. A couple of faster guys ahead of me wrecked out, and I think one of the guys in front of me had a speeding penalty. So just got me back to the front, just capitalizing off other people's mistakes, unfortunately, but I'll take it.
Hey, that's what it's all about, especially here at Darlington. If someone's going to make a mistake, it's your job to capitalize, and you were able to find yourself here in the top 3. Was this one of your first podium finishes here with the S.M.A.S.H League, you said?
Yeah, first top 3. I hit a 4th in the East Coast Truck Series last week. That is my best finish over there, but this is my first top 3.
Well, congratulations to you on that. I'm sure we're going to see many more. Are you taking part of anything in Season 2 as S.M.A.S.H is wrapping up Season 1 here?
Yeah, Season 2, I'm going to be running all 4 series. Right now I run all 3, but adding that late model series next season, I'm super excited for that.
Awesome. We look forward to watching you. And before I let you go, anyone you want to shout out here tonight?
Not necessarily, just Jesus, God,
Amen to that. We appreciate you here, and we look forward to catching you over in Season 2 and watching you continue to develop those driving skills. You were able to hang with these guys here tonight. We'll see if you can close the gap and give them more of a run for that money in Season 2 as we turn our way towards Ash Rogers, who took that 2nd place. Ash, how'd you feel tonight?
Yeah, it felt fucking pretty good. Car was a little bit loose on the start, but once the tires heated up and they stuck in, it was pretty good.
How did your race progress? Where did you start to where did you finish? How did you think that was going to go? Did you end where you thought?
No, I thought I was going to be like 6, looking at practice times, but I qualified 3rd. I think a couple of the faster blokes must have tapped the wall during quali. But yeah, no, got lucky with Ronnie speeding in pits or something like that, or unsafe pit entrance. Not sure what happened to him. He dropped back a couple laps behind me, and then when Patrick Hernandez crashed out in the wall, that was a good silver lining for me as well.
Yeah, Hernandez dropping down there. We didn't quite figure out what happened to him, but you just filled the gap for us. It sounds like he hit the wall, and that ended his night. It sent him into the pits, and I don't think he returned back out onto the track. For you, we saw you throughout the season, slowly starting to come on here. I got to see you also in the Challenger Series, I believe, and you were in the Challenger Series, right?
Yeah, Challenger and East Coast.
Yeah, you were building up there pretty fast, and we got you over into the East Coast. And what are your plans for season 2?
Yeah, hopefully keep racing the East Coast and the Cup race. I'm not a fan of the O'Reilly cars, so they just, I don't know, I just can't get the feel of it.
Yeah, those O'Reilly cars are a little tough to get around the track. Hopefully, we'll see iRacing making some tuning to that. Before I get you out of here, anyone you want to say thanks? Any shout outs for you?
Oh, just shout out to myself, I guess. I'm the one that carried myself, and I'm the one that put the effort in.
Hell yeah, shout out to Ash Rogers. Our
Yeah,
race winner, Dylan Canova, ending season 1 for S.M.A.S.H strong here. How'd you feel?
Oh yeah, I mean, good. It's nice to close the season out with a win. Couple spots short Friday night in the trucks, so it's nice to close the season out with a win. It was a good race overall. Wish me and Prince would have been able to battle it out. I was curious to see how that was going to play out. So yeah, it's a good way to end the season.
Yeah, we were on that battle between you and Prince quite hard. That was basically the only thing we were watching. Tell us a little bit about what happened and what sent him out into the wall there.
Um, I'm not sure. I haven't got. I'm actually kind of watching it back now. I know I had tried to run the bottom. I think a lap or two prior to that, and got under him down the front stretch. And it's just super, super hard to kind of not wash up out of two and make sure you give the car on the outside room. And it's so easy for the car on the outside to catch the wall. So I was like, we're gonna try and get to his right rear down the front stretch, and it worked out. We were able to get there, and I know I caught the wall, and then I didn't really feel any contact from him, but iRacing told me there was. So I don't know the sequence of events of it happened. I don't know if it was like a little netcode actual contact between us and then I bounced off the wall, or if I just barely tapped the wall and then we were so close together that we touched, and that's kind of what sent him around. I was actually going to watch it back, so I'm not sure. I just know it's super super hard to pass here. So I mean, it's two, 3, and 4 we could gain on him in the brakes and run in the bottom, but then we'd get down to 1 and 2 and you're up against the wall in the throttle. That dirty air is just brutal. You use the nose, and it's just so hard to hit your line and keep the momentum up. I think we'd gain 2 tenths at one end and lose 2 tenths at the other.
I mean, yeah, you said it. It's hard to pass here, and let me tell you, you put on display a clinic of passing as you made your way through the field, all the way from the back, finding yourself in first, and then once you got into first, you just never gave it up.
Yeah, that clean air is huge. We shot ourselves in the foot in qualifying. I messed up turns 1 and 2 the first time and scraped the wall, got in there deep, washed up, and then 3 and 4, I just a little too greedy, trying to get a little bit too much out of it, and it just got sideways on me entering, and it slammed itself into the wall right there in the middle. So we had to kind of start with no time, and so we kind of gave ourselves a little bit of a uphill battle. It's nice to come out on top in the end, and yeah, everybody was super clean. They gave me plenty of room throughout the field. I didn't really have anybody. I mean, Ash put up a good fight there, but all of it was super clean. Everybody was really good racing through the field to get up there.
I mean, 3 back-to-back-to-back races for the S.M.A.S.H series in all major NASCAR all went green. You don't really see that too often here at Darlington, so that was great to see. Can you tell us a little bit about your expectations for next season? Can we expect to see you a little bit more in the Cup? We know you're going to be a problem for the boys over there in the East Coast Truck Series.
Yeah, obviously we're gonna go for the championship. I think on Friday nights in the trucks, and I think obviously Sunday night. I love the Super, so I can't wait to dabble in the Super Series starting tomorrow. And then, yeah, I don't know if we'll run much of the O'Reilly. That's kind of a weird time with it being kind of early evening. But I want to try and run more of the next gen. I love this car right now with the package that's on it. It's a little tight at some of the tracks like tonight, but that low downforce, high horsepower is significantly better than years past. So I'm gonna probably try and run full time on Saturday nights if everything allows.
Well, we Definitely are looking forward to that. It's always a privilege for us to be able to watch you on the track. You always give it everything you got. Before we let you get out of here, anyone you want to send a shout out to?
Yeah, you for broadcasting the Challenger Series, and I think you did both races tonight, so that was neat. Because obviously those three were unbroadcasted for most of the season, so thank you for giving the fans something to watch. All the admins for a great season one. Can't wait to see what they have in store for season two. I know there were some growing pains and some disagreements early, kind of in the middle of the year, but it's nice to see them putting in the effort and giving us a place to race each weekend. I know it's a ton of work those guys put in every week to give us this place to race. And then obviously everybody out there watching, all the drivers are showing up in season one. And then lastly, the names on the car, Safe 22, Ambassador Racing School here in Central Florida, 5-6 Graphics for giving me this good looking hot rod. And then Cream of the Crop Motorsports, a new team I'm on and working with in some leagues. So shout out to them. Can't wait to work with them in some other leagues and maybe even bring some of them over for season two.
Well, we appreciate all your guys' time, Dylan, everyone. We look forward to seeing you guys again over in season 2. You guys have a great night rounding out your weekend. We're going to close down the show here, and we will catch you next time.
Thank you. See you then.
All right, boys. Thank you. And
Great.
gals, if you are watching, thank
Thank
you for tuning in for what was the end of the championship weekend here for the S.M.A.S.H League. I believe Daryl Griffin is going to take over championship of the Cups. What a way to finish the league for us here in Season 1. Again, if you want to join S.M.A.S.H, it's smashleague.gg. Catch us over there. We're going to have a couple weeks off, but we're still going to have some fun in between. If you want to be a part of Season 2, make sure you get in on the action. We'll catch you next time. Have a good evening. Close out the weekend in fun.